Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Cray podcast. I am Chloe, better known as Cousin Chloe, and my lovely co-host, Courtney, better known as Curly Pecan 10, and those are our IG names. We are just two women who are intensely enthusiastic about cultivating life and laughter with our lips since fall 2003. Please remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Everything said here, everything shared here is the independent thoughts of each one of us and has nothing to do with anybody that we represent, our companies, or any type of affiliations that we have. So, let's get the show rolling with an eyebrow raiser. And we are on episode 2, and this one is called Bossed and
Beat.
Exactly. Boston Beat. All right, so here's our eyebrow raiser. If all your wishes were granted, where do you see your life 5 years from now? You go first.
5 years from now, I see myself as a wife, owning or beginning to own my own company, and have received another credentialing and no longer living in my current location.
Oh, all the situations, all them letters, extra letters behind your names. MD, ABCs, LMNOPs, all them letters.
Yay. EDD.
Yeah, all the letters. Mm-hmm.
All of it. The alphabet.
All the letters. All 36. Get them out. Go for it. Do you. Now.
Wait, did you say 36?
Yes.
Letters?
In the alphabet?
Boo-boo. It's 26.
Since when?
Chloe, there's always been 26 letters in the alphabet.
Oh, well. Either way, get out of it.
Wait, can I Google this? Because I feel
yes,
like...
you can Google it.
How many letters are in the alphabet?
Last I checked, it was 36. I could be wrong. It happens every once in a while.
26.
Okay, I'm wrong. It's fine. Hey, so clearly in 5 years, I will know that there are 26 letters in the alphabet, but that just means you can have punctuations, exclamations, and all kinds of extra stuff behind your name. There we go. That's how
clearly you need my help.
Anywho, where I see myself in 5 years is I'm already married, so hopefully still married. Okay, yep, okay. Still married, number 1. Let's go and pop some twins in there, boy twins, preferably, number 2. And honestly, I would like to be traveling more, but traveling as it relates to what my passions are. And we're going to get into a lot of that more since this is the episode that we talk about our careers and our life's journeys and stuff like that. But that's probably what I would do if all my wishes were granted. And then I would say, lastly, I would be a nice curvy size 8. And I would own probably every single one of my favorite brand of shoes. And I would have a lovely closet and a big kitchen with a nice pantry. But I'm not specific. All right. So yeah, that's where I would like to be in 5 years if my wishes.
We were being specific.
Hey, you do you. I mean, I had to account for all the extra letters in the alphabet. So you were specific.
I know, but I kept like my vision board to the side. Like I didn't add on everything that I put on the vision board.
Look,
you right. Do you, boo-boo? You got it.
I am being done doing me.
And over the top.
Getting done.
Per
Oh, yeah.
Per you.
Anywho.
going forward from eyebrow raisers, things that have gotten our eye. So I've got my eye on you. So what has caught your attention this week? You go first.
Me go first. So this is the part of the show. I just want to say this little disclaimer, but this is the part of the show where we usually will talk about things that are a little heavier or things that are really affecting the world, because most of the show is really lighthearted and sweet and gentle and fun and playful. But I want people to understand that we are humans and we have feelings and we are paying attention to what's going on in the world. So with that being said, the thing that really got my eye is, for those of you who do not know me personally, I sing. And I'm a singer. I love music. I'm always singing something gospel mostly, but a little bit of everything. And really this past week has been really taxing on me with the amount of deaths that have happened in the music industry. And not only just nationwide with Little Richard, we just found out about Betty Wright today, Andre Harrell, but there were also, I'm in the Houston area, and there were some local gospel artists who I admired, especially Alvanita Nelson Stevenson. It was a mogul. Her throat was just, whoo. But her mom is like a mentor to me, Dr. Betty Nelson, and just the amount of death that is coming like left and right and left and right. And it's really taken a toll on me. It's really made me evaluate my life and just wanting to know like what my legacy is going to be, and really also kind of pushing me to take my ministry more seriously, because I enjoy singing, but I'm not the person that's just going to run up and sing all the time. I usually wait for people to ask. I don't necessarily put myself out there, which is something I really want to explore more. So I think just the amount of death in the industry is just, it was very taxing on me. But on a kind of a happier note with that, it's like, because they made music and their music was recorded, it's one of those things like with Aretha Franklin, though that was some years ago, her music is still played today. So their voice really never dies. So that makes me again think about my own legacy and how I want to make sure that my voice never dies. So it makes me want to probably get in the studio and maybe consider recording and things like that. But I just truly was shocked. It was almost every day you woke up the past week or so. It was, you go on your social media and it's such and such died, or RIP to this person. And it's like, whoa, like, so it really, really took a toll on me, honestly.
I didn't even think about that. I forgot. I don't want to say I forgot how involved you are with singing, but I guess I didn't catch wind of it until all of those public ones happened, and it seemed like every day another person was going through it or somebody was dying, and you're right. So it was a lot that has happened, in addition to all the other people that I'm seeing of their loved ones dying, not just prominent people, but mothers and fathers and cousins and grandmothers and so many things. And it's such a time where we're really not asking like, oh, what'd they die from? You're just kind of allowing people to grieve in the way that they need to grieve, because you can't be with them the way that you have in the past. So it's definitely changing our perspective of allowing people to kind of sit in their emotions, which is something that we typically don't do when someone dies. We immediately want to go to them and say, what do you need? How can I help you? But in this, you have no option but to kind of be hands off. So my thing that caught my eye is kind of my continuation from last week, dealing with Ahmaud Arbery, which I was so overwhelmed when I saw so many people saying that they were the hashtag I run with Maud. It was so nice to see that. And I think what really warmed my heart was seeing people of other races do that. It just goes to show you, when you are removed, like I said earlier, in regards to what's going on with the world right now, when you're removed from it, you're forced to kind of sit in your own feelings. You're really not looking to see what somebody else is doing around you. So
Absolutely.
you figure out what you want to do about it. And I think the best thing that I saw was people speaking out, and of the outrage behind it. Like, why did it take so long? Why are we just now finding this out? But what we've come to find out is the gentleman that videoed the assault, William Bryan, I believe his name is, yes, William Bryan, he's now wanting his name cleared because he's not understanding why he's being dragged into it. He's basically saying, like, I did a good deed, don't come for me. Like, but did you really? Because if
No.
you did a good deed, it wouldn't have taken this long for everyone to have seen the video. And furthermore, if you were not a culprit with the father and son, why were you there? Like, I haven't watched the full video because I can't stomach it, and I'm trying to protect my energy in a lot of things. But I know for a fact that he was recording before the assault ever took place. So it was definitely something that seemed like it was premeditated, and it seemed like he knew what was about to happen. So he's not as innocent as he comes across. So if they are going to punish him, or I don't even know what the correct term is, whatever they plan to do, I do think he should be held liable for something, even if
Yeah.
it's just for holding on to the information and it not going anywhere, because we still don't know how this was put out into the world. It just so happened it got put out there, and now everybody knows. And I think we also need to remember, which I think a lot of people have been saying, the only reason why this is happening now is because now other people are upset.
Mhm.
It was definitely talked about there in Brunswick, I believe it is,
Yeah.
Brunswick, Georgia. People knew, but it wasn't until the rest of the world got involved with it that it got blown up to this scale. So I also think that that speaks a lot to, one, the power of social media, and two, how powerful we are. I mean as a Black race, when we get together and we become something to truly be reckoned with, and wanting to be noticed, and saying that this isn't what we're going to do. And I hope that carries through all the elections that are coming up at the end of this year. So
Yeah.
clearly I'm feeling all the things.
You are. I think the only thing I want to add in the part that where what you say the guy's name was William or something like
Yeah,
that,
William Bryan.
the reporter. So I look at it like I have an issue with people that are the people who document stuff but don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you see these people pursuing this man, and instead of like, oh, let me, again, I'm not a huge fan of people that, oh, I gotta pull out my camera so I can record this. Especially in that situation where clearly things are getting escalated. And I've not watched the video, I have no desire to, but based on the little bit that I do know, well, not little bit, but the hearsay that I've heard is, if you're, pulling out your phone to record something, why are you not saying, hey, y'all stop, hey,
Mm-hmm.
He's just this or he's just that or whatever, but you're just recording so you can document it. And my thing is, like you said, okay, you've held on to this for so long, and however it got released, it's like, well, what did you do with the footage after you recorded it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, was this one of those, like, oh, you were sitting at home like, oh, let me watch this again, or is this something, so it's a whole lot of unanswered stuff. So you can't come across as, oh, I'm innocent, I want my name cleared. No, because you're just as a part of it, because you didn't stop it. I watched the show, What Would You Do, a lot of times, and I see people who have decided not to say something a lot of times, and it's like, some people say stuff, some people don't, and I applaud the people who step up and say something. Sometimes that's all it takes, is you stepping up and saying something, and that might make the difference. So instead of being silent and recording, step up and say something sometimes, because you never know, it, like I said, it could truly make a difference. But that's, yeah, like I said, it's a real heavy subject, and it's going to be ongoing, because of course step one has just been the fact that it's been recorded, and now they've been arrested, and they're being held, the guys are being held without bond, but there still has to be an actual conviction. And again, we're probably on step two of probably many steps. So but thank you for sharing that. And like I said, it's, again, both of us really covered some kind of really heavy topics. So I just want to transition to our subject on a lighter note, something more uplifting. And our episode is called Bossed and Beat. This is episode 2. And Bossed and Beat is simply our careers, being boss women, being boss ladies, however you bosses. I mean, you don't have to put a lady or a woman on that. So basically, we're going to cover what we do, why we're in the careers that we are, because we really work in 2 totally different fields. Kind of what that looks like to be who we are, meaning Black women in these careers, and maybe touch on a little bit about what we desire to do in the future. And I think our eye raiser really kind of set the precedence for this. So let's see, who's gonna go first? Well, I'll just tell you a little bit about what I do, and then you can say what you do, and we'll just take it from there. Cool?
Okay.
Great. So again, most of you know, or maybe probably don't know, I work in hospitality, and that's kind of the general version of what I do. My title is a director of sales for a hotel. It's a limited service hotel property, and what limited service means is it's not a full service. It's pretty simple. Limited services mean like there's no room service. We don't have valet. It's not a restaurant, stuff like that. So the services are limited. Is the type of hotel that I particularly work for. And basically kind of my day-to-day, well, I'll say this, pre-coronavirus, but pre-corona, my day-to-day was I would get to work, I would interact with the guests during the breakfast time, then I would, check emails and do all the administrative things. And then majority of my day was spent out in the community, talking to different companies, talking to different venues, meeting with different businesses, organizations, churches, and basically figuring out ways that they can partner with my hotel whenever they have events, whenever their corporate clients are coming into town, whenever you're having a family reunion. I'm basically the person that you talk to. So that's kind of my day-to-day. And then a lot of times in the evenings, I'd have networking events to go to where I, of course, go and talk to people, try to connect with people, and again, find reasons for them to partner with my hotel and stay at my hotel. So that's probably a very broad but pretty detailed synopsis of what I do. So what do you do?
Wait, I didn't know that there was a difference until you explained it. Full service and limited service. Yes. I just thought a hotel was a hotel.
A hotel is a hotel, but some hotels tell more than other hotels.
True. And like when you started explaining it, I was like, okay, I see the difference now.
Yeah. Because real quickly, but basically, like when you're dealing with a full service hotel, they usually have a lot of different, I'm a one woman department basically. So whereas if I was working at a full service hotel, I'd probably be one of 5 to maybe 10 people on a sales team. Usually there is somebody that's just over catering. There's somebody that's over meetings and events. There's somebody over small groups. There's somebody over corporate groups. There's somebody over what we call SMERF, which is like social, military, education, religious, or fraternal organizations. Those kind of categories. It's again, I don't want to get all technical, but so full service, you have a lot more hands on deck because you're dealing with a larger property. You have a lot of more pieces to the puzzle. So at a limited service property, I have a meeting room and I have guest rooms. That's all I have to offer to you. So I can handle that as a one woman show.
Fancy.
What I was going to say.
All that. So as Chloe was saying, we are in 2 completely different fields of profession. I am an educator. I have been in education just like she has been in hospitality since fall 2003. Like we really went in and we declared, and we have never really deviated from either one of our.
Well, I did banking for 2 years, but that don't really count.
Mm-hmm. So, as far as for me in education, if this is your first time joining us, if this is not, I believe I mentioned in one of our lives that I work for a small education type setting. I work in an autism clinic where all of the clients there have autism, and if they do not have autism, they have highly severe, challenging behaviors that keep them going to school either the entire day, or they're there, or either they're doing a half day in school. So what I do is I split my time, if needed, in between being with the clients where I am trying to diminish those challenging behaviors, or I'm spending my time training the staff on how to manage those behaviors, how to create a program foundationally with them acquiring skills that are around the area of like socialization or communication. So all of those things are what I deal with on a daily basis. In addition to, I create the schedule. I create all training materials, all standard operating procedures. I create trainings individualized if you happen to find yourself delinquent, if you are needing to become certified, if you're needing to become recertified in our field, if you are needing or wanting to become enrolled in school to go into a program where you're wanting to get possibly an AA degree, a bachelor's of arts, even a master's degree. I can put you in all those different channels. And I work not just within my clinic in my home base, but I travel to our other clinics, which are scattered through the east and north of Georgia. So I do a lot of traveling. I do a lot of moving. Before COVID occurred, I was in and out of our different clinics at least a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks out of the month. So it's been very nice. I will say this, it's been very nice to be at my home clinic for as long as I have, but because we're slowly reopening and getting things back to normal, my caseload is picking back up. So I'm back busy, a little stressed. So that's just a little bit of what I do every day.
Oof. Normally I would have a question to ask you about this, but we've had these conversations. Like I feel like I'm not even gonna take you through that. Like, oh, so I didn't know you. Like, trust me. We talking on a regular. So you was educating the people. That wasn't even for me.
You did all that today? Yes.
Yes. I'm like, yeah.
With
so anyways. So I know for me, as far as choosing a career, I didn't choose hospitality. Hospitality chose me.
Facts.
But I feel like for you, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like I know your mom was kind of working in a similar field or something along those lines. Do you think that's kind of what steered you towards wanting to go into that field of work?
Completely. I come from a family of educators, and not educators in the traditional sense. And I think that's what deterred me from being a true classroom teacher, even though I was. And my favorite was teaching high school when I did, but definitely seeing my mom and her sisters in the field of education and what they did within that field, and the scope of it isn't just limited to take out your books, open it to page 12, read this chapter, and then do these 2 to 3 questions on the end. So that part definitely inspired me to be around education, because I don't know. Well, I do know what I would do if I wasn't in education.
Uh-huh. You're not gonna tell us?
Oh, well, it's 2 things. 2 things. I would probably be involved in skincare somehow, not makeup wise, because I love skincare, and not just skin on your face. I love body care. I got all the creams, all the lotions, all the things. Like, that's my jam. I think the best way to gauge an age of a person and to see their health is through their skin. And that's just how you're feeding it internally, and then what you're putting inside of you is showing out. So I would definitely be in skincare. Then my other thing is I would probably be a baker.
Because you like all the sweets and all the snacks.
But the thing is, I like them, but once and you know this, like once I bake it, I will have a bite and then I'm done with it. Like I don't want it. It's just the smell and like the atmosphere and everything.
Process.
Yeah, it's the detail of it all. I'm very detail oriented, and that shows itself when I'm allowed to bake. So, and that's why skincare is a thing, because it's very detail oriented. It's very minuscule steps. It takes a lot of vision behind it. So
skincare take patience. Like
it does, and you don't have it.
I don't. That's why I have simplified my skincare routine into, let's see, so I think I'm down four solid natural steps, and it works for me.
A whole 10 Korean step skincare on a nightly basis.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. I ain't got time. No. No. Hey, you are. Don't get it twisted. Don't sleep on my. Are we doing skin tests? I mean, I'm just saying.
35 in a month and some change. Where?
I'm just saying. Don't sleep on my 4 steps. My 4 steps begin. Okay.
5 where? Where she?
Again, don't sleep on my 4. Thank you very much. Anywho,
can you say when hospitality found you?
Well, you know, back in the day, I was slaying them beds at the
That's Super 8.
You know what I'm saying?
That's Super 8. It was my hangout in college. I'm doing homework. Chloe's selling beds.
I mean, hey, whatever works.
I was eating the snacks and drinking coffee
in the lobby. Yes.
Lobby.
So realistically, what happened was my sophomore year, I wanted to move off campus, and I was not one of those privileged students where I could call mommy and daddy and be like, hey, I need rent money. No. My dad floated me a couple of months worth of rent money so I could move off campus. And after that, he was like, you're on your own. And I was like, okay, cool. So when that 3rd month kind of rolled around, and I was like, okay, let me just go call him real quick and see what's up. Hey, Dad, running low on cash. He was like, I told you, I got you 2-3 months. I don't have any more. So what am I supposed to do? So I had to get a job. And thankfully, on the other side of the fence where I was living, literally on the other side of the fence, was a Super 8. And they had a now hiring sign. And I went out there and I got off the trolley because I did not have a car. Got off the trolley, walked over there, walked in, introduced myself. Hello, my name is Chloe, and I have customer service experience. I worked at a Pizza Hut. I was a server growing up all throughout high school, yada, 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 boom, boom, boom. He said, oh, sounds great. Fill out the application. Okay.
You didn't do the call center when we were in school for a little bit?
I have multiple jobs. Yes. But I was still on the scene. It's called time management, okay? Anywho, but so filled out the application, left it. He's like, come back tomorrow. Cool. Same process. Got off the trolley, came, went in there. He's like, oh, okay, come back tomorrow. Now keep in mind, this went on for almost a week. And finally, I'm at my wit's end, and I go in there and I'm like, look, sir, I need a job. I live on the other side of that fence. I don't have a life, and I need to be able to pay my rent very soon. Will you hire me? He was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, you can start on Monday. And anyways, long story short, I worked there from November of 2000, that was 2004, I believe. I worked there up until the 2 days before I graduated in 2007. So I worked there for 3 years. I got promoted and all that stuff. I got this really great job offer with Chase Bank. And the funny thing is, my goal the whole time I was in college, I always knew I was going to go to college. I've always been very smart and stuff like that. Clearly, I didn't know the alphabet. But I was been very smart. Shut up. And so I knew I was going to go to college, but I really didn't know where I was headed after. So my goal simply was, when I graduate college, when I cross that stage, I want to have a job offer. And I was driving back to campus to Waco. Sorry, drew a whole complete blank. Driving back to Waco, get a phone call. I've been going back and forth to Houston for these interviews. Get a phone call from the recruiter. She's like, we want to make you this job offer, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, are you serious? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Now, keep in mind, this is the night before graduation. So the next morning, graduated, crossed the stage, came home, had a little dinner, made my announcement that had to go home and quickly edit my little slideshow that I now have a job. And this is what I'm going to be doing because I am extra.
Show.
So anyways, I do all that to make this story a little shorter. I do banking for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. And while I enjoyed it and I enjoyed the interaction with people, I wasn't like, it wasn't very fulfilling. And I love people and I love money. Let's just be real about it. And you would think working at a bank, I would get to do those two things, but some policies and stuff changed and it just wasn't really my zhuzh no more. So zhuzh rather. And so ended up leaving there, had some personal things happen in my life. And I was like, okay, time for a career change. And I started working night audit, which is the person who works overnight. I started back working night audit at a full service hotel. And I kind of just worked my way up. And the crazy thing was I was working like a PM. I was a full-time PM shift person, which is the 3 to 11 person. And a guest who was a regular guest kept saying, why aren't you running the place? And I was like, no, this is just some little means to an end. I'm trying to figure out my life. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. And he was like, you're really good at this. You have the personality for it. You need to be running this place. Okay, I'll think about it. Here's your key. Thanks for staying with us. And like literally that next week, the guy who was the assistant manager, he put in his notice and I was like, oh, okay. So I put my notice in and I really saw on my Facebook memories reminded me that it was about this time, almost 8 years ago, I want to say, is when I started my career in the management field. Because again, I've been doing hospitality since 2004. But as far as being in elevating and growing in my career and taking it more seriously was like 8 years ago. So like I said, the career chose me. My degree's in marketing and public relations. So of course, doing sales and working with people is right up my alley. So when I say hospitality chose me, I really mean that. And I know that was a super long story, but that's really what it was. It chose me. So, I mean, but it's cool.
Give context to your
yeah, because sometimes I kind of skip around and people are like, well, what about this? And what about that? Well, that's what it is. But I will say, kind of moving on, is we want to kind of talk about what it looks like to be who we are, which is African-American women in these professions. And my answer is really short. And the word is judged and challenged, but encouraged. And I say judged because my appearance is always scrutinized. I literally had a job where I had an issue with my appearance.
Yes.
And I was raised by my mother to always make sure I look professional, always look, on point. And when you're challenging my appearance because of my hair, we have an issue. Challenge because I often feel like I have to prove myself. That's just what it is. But that more so comes from the sales side of it. And then I would say encourages because there's a lot of Black women that work in hospitality. There's a lot of Black women in management. There's a lot, I'm not going to say a lot. There's a good number, but I feel like the ones I've met, with the exception of one, there's not one that I've met that has not been like, hey, sister girl, like literally we see each other, we're at these networking events and it's like, I see you, you see me, art girl, let's exchange phone numbers. And that's encouraging. And even with all of this COVID stuff going on and the hospitality industry is getting beat upside the head, we're texting each other. Hey girl, you need something? Hey, you still working? Hey, what's going on with you? And that's encouraging. So that's probably my short answer for that.
Not mine at all. I will say it is challenging, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I also will use your word of judgment. I will also throw in, you got to be scrappy in education. You got to fight as a African American, as a Black. I'm not even going to use African American. I'm going to say as a Black woman in education, in every aspect that I've been in, from when I first started in January of 2009, even up until now, I'll say, because so often you're looked at, well, how did you get it? How are you in this place? Who do you know? Was there some nepotism that's behind the scenes? What kind of education do you have? What's on your
Mm-hmm.
resume? What made your resume stick out better than mine? And it's always a constant revolving door of you trying to up the next person, when it never should be that way. It should be very much so like a sisterhood. You know for a fact, if you're in education, you have at least a undergraduate degree. Whatever that undergraduate degree is, it really doesn't make any difference, because you can go in, you can become certified in anything these days,
That's true.
especially if you're in the STEAM category. And STEAM is science, technology, engineering, arts, or mathematics. They need anybody and everybody. And then in the area that I'm certified in, which is a special education, we never have enough special education people. But I find myself being looked at with side eyes, not just from colleagues, but also from leadership, because you want to do more, you want to offer more. But when you stand up in a room full of people to share your ideas, it's looked at as, she don't know what she's talking about. She's too young. She isn't aware of the culture and how things work here. So she needs to fall in line because she needs to go through what I went through. And it doesn't have to
Mm-hmm.
take all that. You don't have to have someone become belittled in order to get ahead, or have to do something the same way that it was done before. Because if you always did what you did before, you always get what you always had.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
you have to be open to a change. You have to be open to growth. You have to be consistent and persistent and move around effectively and efficiently in your job, and kind of have to stand up and say, like, I'm just as smart as you are. This is what it is, and this is how it needs to be done. Whether or not you like it is completely up to you. But what I do need you to do, I need you to respect my decision. And where I've often found a lot of people count me short is that they look at me because I might be young in a lot of the positions that I've held, or either they aren't aware of everything that I'm bringing to the table, because I don't really make it a point to share everything that I have going on. I mean, I graduated with a whole master's degree and didn't
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
tell
Mm-hmm.
no
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, we're gonna stop right there. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm gonna say.
told
Mm-hmm.
nobody, because I don't want.
So
Are you tired?
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't want. I one, that's just my personality. I don't like a lot of attention. Never told anybody this, but here we go. I was not gonna walk for my undergraduate degree. I wasn't gonna walk. Um, it was my dad who said, he used choice words.
I'm
And
sure.
if you know Jonathan, you know that he doesn't say too much, but when he talks, you
Oh
sit
no.
straight and you do what he says to do. So yeah, I wasn't gonna walk because I felt like I had done everything that I needed to do. I got that piece of paper and I was on. But all of that was to say, I'm very private about what I do, and I want the education that I've received in the books that I've read, excuse me, to be shown in my love and my sharing of my knowledge hands on. Like, I never want to be the type to stand back and preach and do this and do that. I would rather show you my work ethic when I'm down in the trenches side by side with my colleagues. So this position that I'm currently in as a trainer, that's my regular run of the mill title. But it's definitely different for me because it causes me to stand up in front of everybody, and it causes me to have a lot more authority than I'm used to having over people. And it's a little difficult. I have that in my personal life, like, don't get it twisted. I'm not as passive in my personal life, but professionally, this position is definitely pushing me to grow, pushing me outside of any comfort zone that I've ever had in the last few years. So this job, I'll be coming up on my 2-year anniversary pretty soon. I have definitely grown. I've definitely been stretched, and it's been a roller coaster. Lots of tears, lots of
Oh Lord. Hold on, time out. Flag, I ain't got no flag. Flag on the plane. Let me tell y'all about her real quick. Lots of tears is very accurate because
I don't
this
cry all
job,
the time.
first of all, let me finish my sentence. Thank you. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. A lot of times with her, I'm always saying to her to own all these stuff that makes you you. Whereas she'd be like, shut up about who you are. So I really try to help pull that out of her. Huh?
Keep going.
I really try to encourage and pull that out of her because we have these phone conversations and she'll call me and be like, such and such did this or this happened or I don't know why we're doing this and da 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 da. And I'm like, so have you talked to the people? Because you telling me I don't work for you. I don't work in your field. I ain't even in your state. So how exactly is, I mean, I get it. We venting, I get it. But you still need to walk in your authority, number one. The authority that they gave you. They saw something in you to say, you know what, we're going to promote her. We're going to put her in this position because we see, as you say, down in the trenches, we see that work ethic and we want other people to be like her. So in order for them to be like you, you have to walk in your authority so that they'll grow and get on your level. Amen. So that is what I am empowering you to do because we have these conversations and she calls me and she's venting and I vent to her too. Mine be like real, just like, oh girl, these people cancel this group. And she like,
she hits me with 3 sentences. This happened. This is what I did. Next, how's your day?
Exactly.
And I take a deep sigh.
By the time I make my U-turn out of the parking lot, I'm done with my vent. I listen to hers on the way to the house. So I'm just saying, but that's what I really want her to do is walk in her authority and own who she is because she is amazing and it's coming out. It's coming out. I see it. Our conversations have grown and have adjusted, or she's just not telling me. But I'm gonna claim that she's grown and made adjustments. I hope she ain't keeping stuff from me. That's just rude.
It's both. Because I told you I felt neglected a few days ago. You told me it's because you sleepy. Okay. All right. You can text. I got all your numbers. I got wait, easy killer. I got all your emails.
Emails?
You got like 11 emails, okay? All of them. And I don't hear from my best friend. I was feeling really neglected. Like,
I feel judged. I feel attacked. I mean,
the attacking.
The life situations have changed. But hey, this is why we're doing our podcast so we can be connected on intentional things beyond our daily conversations. Amen. Awesome. So we're going to transition. I don't know. What's the last thing I forgot to do?
The last is, so where we are now, what are your future career goals within this current position or profession? And do you see them being possibly parlayed into others? For you, I know exactly where you're about to take this to. So you can go first because
No, please tell me because I told you about yourself. Please tell me.
as far as current career goals?
Yes, I'll correct you if you're wrong.
No, I don't like it when you do that, because I'll be wanting you to say, no, and you just hold the phone, or either you just be looking at me like you doing now, and then you'll tell me, oh, when you're wrong, I'll stop you. No, I need some.
This is true. Go ahead. Hey.
Okay, so my belief is that eventually you will get to a point within sales that you can go no higher, and you've enjoyed it. You have gotten your name out there as far as it can go within that field, and then you will parlay it into your personal life, which is, I can see it, especially with your marketing and your public relations degree, I can see it parlaying into what you're trying to do independently as a makeup artist, as we ain't talked about this in a minute, at what happened to First Lady.
It's still there.
When you had
it's merged into Cousin Chloe.
Okay.
It's all
she had a
under
whole
the umbrella.
public relations. She was coordinating weddings. She was doing like especially events planning, and all this speaks to her and what she does. So she's very creative, and I can see her taking all those things that she's learned in the business and now becoming a complete entrepreneur behind it. She will make all the connections that she can make, especially in the Houston area. Ooh. We said you was in Texas.
I already said Houston.
Okay, I didn't know. All right, we're going to edit that out. She in Houston. She's going to use all those business relationships that she's established, and eventually they're going to become self-serving for her, to where she does not have to depend on anyone. It will no longer, let me rephrase that. Not that she won't have to depend on anyone. She will be able to use them as she sees fit, and in the capacity that is good for her and on her time. Because her right there, her don't do mornings. Her is not a get up and go type person. So being able to work on a time schedule that is best for her is what I see her moving towards in the future. And I'll even give her, because I know how well she works and how much she moves about, I think she can attain it in at least, I'll give her 3. At the most, I'll cap her at 5. But the way she's moving and the things that I know that she's setting in place right now, even the things that I know she's not sharing with me, I know that, drink your water. I don't care. Okay. I know what is coming is going to be some of her best work and the things that she's going to be proud of the most. I'm just hoping that I still get to be on the right of her, because I don't know if people have ever, like, any and every picture, and I was looking back at it today, any picture, I'm always on her right hand. I'm always on that right. I'm always right there. So all I need is to make sure that I'm right there and that I'm good to go. So that's where I see. So I guess I'm not wrong.
You are not wrong. Only thing I would add, not correct, but add, is I do, as far as the actual industry that I'm in, I do have a desire to become more of a consultant, which is kind of along the lines of what you said, but consultant in the hospitality industry.
Semantics.
I didn't say you were wrong. I said I'm going to add. Thank you. Anywho, but yes, you hit the nail on the head with pretty much everything that you said, and you'll still be on my right side. So that's understood. And I feel like for you, I'm going to give a very simple answer, is because of the conversation that you and one of our now mutual friends had, I see the growth between you two, number one. I'm going to say shout out to AB. She know who she is. But
Georgia though, I got to move from where I'm at.
But I genuinely feel like there's going to be some relationship growth happening there with that on a professional end. And I feel like you're going to head in the same direction of getting these additional certifications and, excuse me, truly, how can I say this? Kind of becoming your own boss in a sense of being that consultant, being able to contract yourself out to these different school districts and things like that. Per the conversation that y'all had, and I know that's still in the making with all the other stuff you have going on in your field. So I genuinely feel like that's where you're headed. So I'm super excited. You know, I want to be on the left, you're gonna be on the right. We're gonna make it happen. I'm excited that we both have goals and dreams and that we've shared them with each other. And now clearly we have all these people who are watching us that are going to hold us accountable. So we'll do a quarterly check-in to see where we are on some of these goals and stuff like that. But I like to just kind of wrapping up the Boston Beat part of it is just, I love to be surrounded by women who are headed somewhere. And that's not necessarily just speaking to you specifically, but almost every woman that I'm around, if you're not really headed anywhere, I feel like our friendship is very limited. If you don't have any goals,
that hit. Let me tell you, that hit on a personal level. I don't know about you, but a certain something came to mind, and I was like, check and mate.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not going to get all deep about, seasons and reasons and stuff like that, but I genuinely feel like if you are not headed anywhere, if you don't really have anything that you want to be better about yourself, and I believe in being content in the state that you're in, but you also have the desire to want to be greater is what I was trying to say, better and greater, so better, new term, that you really want to grow. And, be better. So that's going to be our word today, which we don't have. But yeah, so, and then that's the cool thing. So awesome conversation. I really enjoyed learning more about your career and what all you do. And I'm grateful for you that you paid that much attention to me. I know sometimes I feel like, again, I wasn't about to say that you don't. Sometimes I feel like people don't, not you, but I feel like sometimes in general, people do not pay attention to the little things.
And move on with life.
I don't like you right now. Anyways, so we're going to move on to Make Me Blush. And of course, this is either a fun...
I feel like you don't have on any blush.
I do. It's very light, though. It's real light. It's real soft. Huh?
What color is it? Pinkish?
It's actually I don't know what the name of it is. It's Colored Rain, if you must know, since you're asking. So, Colored Rain, black-owned brand, one of my faves. And it's called The Shots. And it's these colors here. So it's pretty soft. You can't really see it. There we go. So it's real soft. When I do a heavy red lip, and I do this kind of red lip heart, what is this? What are these? Wings. Heavy wing, red lip. I keep everything else on the face soft.
Oh.
I'm just letting you know. That way, because I don't want to be too overdone. So I let the focus be on the eyes and the lips.
I got two things. I put on a real big lash, well, all you see is lips.
Anywho. So when you do both, you keep everything else on the face neutral as much as possible. That's a quick little makeup lesson. I won't charge you for that. Okay, so made me blush. What made you blush?
I cooked the perfect egg. It wasn't completely runny and it wasn't completely hard boiled. So I did it. I don't know its name for it. All I know is that I cooked it for 5.5 minutes, maybe like 6. I don't remember. But it was fantastical. And I put it in my homemade ramen. So I was very excited. There's just something, first of all,
I love ramen.
I do love ramen. Oh, I didn't eat my other things. I didn't eat my pot stickers. Ooh, okay. Sorry, because I had a whole meal. I had a whole plan of how I was going to eat my food. And then I realized that I left something out. That's what I left out.
Who plans how they're going to eat their food?
I do. First of all, we're going to get into this, but let me tell you about this. So I plan out how I'm going to eat my food. I know exactly what drink is going to be good with this meal. And then if I have like a side, like I need it to, I heard about, see, this is why I like the foods. I heard about this when I used to watch Iron Chef. Was it Iron Chef? Either way, when I was a whole Food Network fanatic, it's called an amuse bouche. I don't know how to say it. It's real French. French ain't my language. I just like the food. And it's like the perfect bite. It's when you have everything in your mouth that is fantastical and it hits all of your taste buds. I live for the perfect bite in food. Like that is my jam. And if every bite of my food can be the perfect bite, that is a meal that I enjoy. Hence why I like ramen. Okay. Anyway, getting back on track. I made ramen today, homemade, fantastical, and I made the perfect little egg that goes in there. And if you're a ramen eater, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of runny, but it's not like boiled all the way. Either way, it was fantastic. I will insert a picture of that because it was phenomenal. But what was your made me blush of the week?
Mine was embarrassing. So, as you all know, I am the resident vegan, and I love recipes, and I like. I need respect in my moment of embarrassment. Thank you. I found this recipe. So I'm also doing like low carb vegan right now because I'm trying to, get real snatched and stuff. Watch my carb intake. So the recipe was I think it was a coconut flour low carb pancake or something of that nature. I tried 3 times. Again, I'm one of those people.
3 times in one day?
No, like, let me finish. So there's a bowl and you bake your batter. Yes. You. So you get a bowl and you mix up your batter. And then when I say try 3 times, I mean, you put it in the skillet and you let the pancake make the pancake. I've never made pancakes before ever in my life, first of all. So I'm not a big pancake person. I went to the eye of the hop. Okay, thank you. So I have it. And so it even said, be careful when you're flipping it in the instructions. So I poured in there, got it, got a little circle, it's happening. And I get my big spatula so it can, fit around it when you're scooping it up. So I get the good scoop. Scoop was good. I flipped it. I took my skillet and lifted it so I can just lay it over to flip it. Soon as I got about here, fell apart. I was like, oh, I'll be. So I'm like, okay, well, let me try to mush it back together and, So that was
Did you let it cook long enough on the underside before you?
Yes, I did. Again. So then round 2, because it just crumbled up, I take that one out the skillet. I'm like, okay, we're just going to put that on the plate. Then round 2, I'm like, okay, same thing. So I let it cook an extra minute on this because I'm like, maybe it just wasn't. But I'm like, it looked, they say it lets the edge get golden brown, crispy, whatever that's supposed to be. All right. Took a little longer. I even changed the oil. And I was like, okay, cool. Scoop, slow scoop. Be careful with the flip. Lift skillet. Turn to the side. Bam. Oh, it's good. All right, cool. Then when I get ready to scoop it out of the skillet, it just splits in 2. So then I'm like, I'm determined because this batter was for 6 pancakes. So then on the 3rd one, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to spread it out that thin. I'm going to make it kind of like a little flapjack, thicker one like that. So I leave it kind of thick and it's literally like this shape. We will be inserting a picture, but it's literally like this shape. And I make some little indentions in it because I'm like, maybe if I make the indentions, that'll help with the oils and stuff. The vegetable oil, I switched to vegetable oil. First time I used, I think, olive oil. Second time I used coconut oil. So this time I used vegetable oil. So it's in that, frying and getting all crispy. I'm like, okay, I think I got one. Okay, good. Let it go an extra minute. I do a little like light lift to check to see if it's gonna bend. Okay, we good. Didn't bend. All right, do the flip. Boop. And then I flip it. It's front. I was like, I think I got one. This is great. Oh, yes, let it break. All right, we got the brown. We got the little golden brownness. Take it out the skillet. Put it on the plate. It's cute. I get my little not maple syrup, agave. Give them a little agave and, do them a little drizzle because I'm like, I'm going to just make this work. I made my little just egg. And I'm sitting there at the table, break into it. It's not done.
Well, did you eat the other two you messed up?
No, I didn't eat none of them.
Why didn't you
eat them? They weren't done. It was like it tastes like grains. I was so disappointed. And I try not to be wasteful. I try to protect the environment and all that good stuff. I had to throw it out.
Why didn't you think about maybe popping it in the microwave, cooking it through like that?
No, I just gave up. I gave up. There was no hope. So I've still never successfully made. But I have 3 other recipes for pancakes that I'm gonna try. But that one, I threw that recipe away because clearly it don't work. It doesn't work. So yes, major embarrassment. I had to throw it away. I like wasted food, but it is what it is. Anywho.
Next up is our highly coveted, talked about, my hair is doing the most. I don't know.
Look, Real Housewife of Georgia, you're fine, okay? Because that's definitely the vibe I'm getting right now.
My white screen. Well, it's not white. This is real.
But you're doing your confessional?
Oh, either way. Okay, never mind. All right. Highly talked about lip of the week. So my lip of the week this week, I went really complicated, really bold, which is something that I haven't worn on here from either of our Instagram lives and even our first episode. I usually keep it very neutral. Chloe's very excited that I actually have some color on my face somewhere, which I did. Look, I even have like highlight in my inner corner. I have real blush on. I even have a good little highlighter. So this is good for me. So what I have on is I have on Night Moth lip liner.
I couldn't see it. Put it all the way in the screen so they can see. No, scoot it the whole thing over. There we go.
Night Moth. I was trying to get my nails in there.
We ain't gonna talk about nails, okay?
Ooh, don't do that. Take them little stubbies away. Ooh, it's not. Hey, I'll take your hands over them foot. Oh.
First of all, stop. She's so rude. Oh, she's so rude.
Then on the outside of my lips, because I love a good ombre lip, that's usually my go-to. On the outside, it is it's a mirror. I'm trying to use. It is the lip.
It's not even.
Listen, shut up, Chloe.
You can just name it. Okay.
It is the Lip Bar Crown Me. And then in the middle, I decided to get super creative, and I had.
You're gonna have to name that. Can't nobody see it.
Max Girl About Town. So going back to everything that we've talked about, it's been a week for me at work. This is a culmination of a lot of things going on. Had a lot of things going on in my professional life, a lot of things going on in my personal life. I've been feeling very anxious, very distressed, just very not myself. And because of that, I decided that I refuse to look like what I feel like on the inside.
Yes,
my hair is blown out. It was a lot cuter earlier, but Chloe takes a long time.
You cute.
That's why I have a little bit less on than I usually do. It's just I needed to feel like something other than what the yuckies that I got on the inside. So this is very bold for me, very out there, very kind of like look at me. So it's just giving me a little zhuzh to get through and start life.
Yes, zhuzh. cute. First of all, let me say I love your lip. It's cute. I saw her when she was putting it together. I was like, oh, yes, colors, yes, yes. Anywho, so as you all see, I have a good true blue red on, and it's from the mother, Pat McGrath.
Whew. It's so good, but it's so expensive. So, let me tell y'all about Pat McGrath. I'm gonna let you do your thing. We went on a shopping excursion to Sephora, and she's like, "You just should try this. Just try." This is how I get a lot of the things that I have. Just try this. Just try it. So I just tried it, and then I wound up loving the lip glass or lip luster, lip gloss, or whatever it is. But then when I went to go buy it about like this size, okay? That thing $26.
First of all, you're going to tell the story, you're going to tell it correctly. She went to Sephora with me, and I had her get the triple sample thing that was $25, and it had 3 different lip glosses in there. Me, myself, personally, because I don't really wear lip gloss by itself, I haven't even gone through all 3 of mine. So that you get 3 different ones in a nice travel size for $25. It's a great way to sample a lot of her products, and it's very good. She liked one of them and decided that she wanted to go purchase the full size. I don't see what the problem is. Nevertheless, as I was saying, I'm not going to count your coins right now. Like I said, that's not a bad price for the mother. Anyways, this is what it looks like. It's a blue red. And I love her packaging because, as you can see, it has the lips on there. And the reason I chose a red lip, and I was like, I don't want to do nothing else but a good red lip, is since we're talking about being bosses and being beat and having careers, I feel like I own the room when I walk in and I got a good red lip on. That's just the God to honest truth. It's been plenty of days where I'm not feeling it. Life is not great. People are rejecting my proposals. People are checking out of the hotel. People ain't paying for stuff, whatever the case may be. But when the time comes for me to be like, okay, it's time to be a boss, you put on a good red lip. That's my answer to that. So that is my mood for the week. That is my lip for the week. And really things are starting to kind of pick up a little bit for my job, which I'm grateful for. So I'm like, you know what? I got to have my red right here available. And the name of the color I didn't say is Elson, Elson. There's Elson 1 and there's an Elson 2. Elson 1 is this one. Elson 1 is a blue red. And if you look at it, it looks like it has a little blue undertone to it. If I had Elson 2, I would show you the difference, but this is not a makeup tutorial. So it's time for the final spray. So can we get a recap, Miss Courtney?
Episode of Bossed and Beat. We discussed just a lot of what's going on in the world, our feelings with it, and where we are right now in regards to not only the current climate, but also how we're moving about in our professional lives and where we see ourselves moving forward, not just in this time, but also possibly 5 years from now. Lots of good conversations, lots of topics were touched on, us speaking about each other and where we see and what we hope for the other. So just a really, really good conversation that we had today. And in regards to going forward, excuse me, episode 3.
Do you need some water?
I'm good, shawty. Appreciate you. Anyway, going forward into episode 3, it is entitled Lux or Bargain. And that, of course, is all things related to shopping, which is right up Chloe's alley.
Online shopping is my favorite, to be honest with you, but shopping is shopping. Go ahead.
And of course, just a super gentle reminder that all new episodes are uploaded on Wednesdays. So please stay tuned for our upcoming episode next Wednesday.
Yes. So we want to say thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I need you to do a few things for me and my girl, Courtney. I need you to, number one, share this podcast, this show, whatever you want to call it. Share it, repost it on your timeline, repost it on your Instagram, tag it on your Instagram, and repost it, share it with, I need you to share it with 5 friends and 3 cousins, okay? That's all I'm asking. 5
What if they
friends,
ain't
3
got all
cousins.
them folks?
Huh?
What if they ain't got all them people?
They got them. Everybody got cousins. And then make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a new episode. And then, of course, we would love for you to follow us on our personal Instagram pages. Mine is at Cousin Chloe, and hers is Curly Pecan Tan. And also follow the Instagram page for our podcast, which is 2Cray Podcast on Instagram. This is uploaded to YouTube and to Instagram TV. So you got 2 different ways to watch it. I think we're going to continue this format. I kind of like it. What about you?
I like it. I'm fine with it.
Exactly.
I the feedback that we're receiving, which that's something else that I want to add. Please do not hesitate to, what?
Go ahead. I was going to say that was going to be my last thing. Go ahead.
Okay. Please don't hesitate to share your feedback with us. We've received a lot of good feedback thus far. We are not shy. We don't shy away from receiving criticism. If anything, we want this to be the best that we possibly can be, and anything that you share with us, we will make those adjustments if we
see it's necessary.
Yes. Then that, thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
And you can send your feedback on, sorry, I just realized. You can send your feedback to our email, and that's 2craycs2020@gmail. But it'll be in the link. It'll be in the description box as well as in the description on the IGTV. So, and another thing we'd love for you to do is email us what you have your eye on this week, and you never know, it might be something that we can talk about. So again, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed episode 2. We'll see you for episode 4.
If they don't want to email, you can always, sorry, I'm just saying, you didn't add this in there. If they don't want to email, they can always slide in DMs on Instagram and share those as well. So.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Email's good too, though. Anyways, but again, we just don't want to let you go. But yes, we really appreciate you watching. Again, I have been Cousin Chloe, and
Courtney, better known as Curly Pecan Tan.
And we together are 2Cray.
Bye.
Bye.